Before 1944, the skies over Europe were a place where death almost always arrived first. Every day, formations of American bombers crossed the English Channel, carrying tons of explosives and the hope of shortening the war. But they often returned shattered, if they returned at all. For every successful mission, dozens of aircraft were shot down, and thousands of young airmen never came home. The bombers weren't weak or poorly armed. The problem was simple and brutal. They flew alone, and in a sky dominated by the Luftwaffe, flying alone was a death sentence. In this moment of desperation, an aircraft emerged that would change everything. Not through sheer size or spectacle, but through range, speed, and precision. Its name was the P-51 Mustang, and when it appeared in the skies, aerial warfare entered a new era. Ironically, the Mustang wasn't born from a revolutionary American idea. It was originally developed to meet an urgent request from the British Royal Air Force, who needed a new fighter capable of confronting German aircraft. North American aviation made a bold promise to design and build an entirely new fighter in record time. The first Mustang flew in 1940 and immediately showed exceptional qualities, especially in speed and aerodynamic efficiency. Its clean, streamlined design minimized drag, allowing it to fly faster and farther than many of its contemporaries. Yet, despite its potential, something was missing. At high altitudes, where the real air war was being fought, the Mustang's performance still had limitations. The transformation that changed everything came with a new engine, the legendary Rolls-Royce Merlin, produced in the United States under license by Packard. This engine gave the P-51 exactly what it needed: reliable, powerful performance at high altitude. Overnight, the Mustang evolved from a capable fighter into something extraordinary. It could fly as high as the bombers, as fast as the best enemy fighters, and most importantly, it could escort those bombers all the way to the heart of Germany and back. What had once seemed impossible was now a reality. For the first time, American bombers would no longer face the most dangerous part of their missions alone. When the P-51 entered combat in large numbers, its impact was immediate and devastating for the Luftwaffe. Before its arrival, American escort fighters were forced to turn back before reaching the deepest targets, leaving the bombers exposed at the most critical moments. The Mustang erased that vulnerability. It didn't just escort it, hunted. Pilots were ordered not only to protect the bomber formations, but to seek out and destroy enemy fighters before they could even attack. The skies, once dominated by German aircraft, became a contested battlefield and, very quickly, an Allied one. The P-51 combined elegance with lethality. Armed with 6.50 caliber machine guns, it carried enough firepower to tear enemy fighters apart in seconds. But its greatest weapon was its performance. It could climb fast, dive aggressively, and retain energy in maneuvers where other aircraft simply stalled out. German pilots, many of them seasoned veterans, began to report something they weren't used to: fear. The Mustang could appear from any direction, strike, and vanish before there was time to react. The psychological balance of the air war was starting to collapse. Inside the cockpit, the Mustang represented progress as well. Excellent all-around visibility, responsive controls, and mechanical reliability gave pilots something rare in combat: confidence. It wasn't just a fast aircraft, it was a predictable one, responding exactly as expected. This allowed less experienced pilots to face veteran opponents on more equal terms. In a war of attrition, that advantage was decisive. The Luftwaffe could train skilled pilots, but it couldn't replace them as quickly as it was losing them to the swarms of Mustangs. As 1944 progressed, the impact of the P-51 became impossible to ignore. Bomber losses dropped dramatically, while German fighter losses soared. With the bombers now reaching their targets, factories, fuel refineries, railways, and industrial centers were destroyed with growing consistency. Allied air superiority didn't just win battles in the sky, it made the D-Day invasion possible. Without control of the air, the landings in Normandy would have been unthinkable. And high above, guarding every phase of that monumental operation, were the Mustangs. The P-51 also represented something larger than just battlefield success. It embodied the American philosophy of air warfare: range, mass production, and efficiency. It was relatively inexpensive, built in massive numbers, easy to maintain, and devastatingly effective. It didn't rely on overly complex, groundbreaking technology, but on a smart, solid design that was executed flawlessly. This combination ensured the Mustang's presence in nearly every major operation during the final, brutal stages of the war in Europe. By the time the war ended, the P-51 Mustang had become a living legend. It didn't just escort bombers, it broke the backbone of the enemy Air Force. By destroying experienced pilots, aircraft, and the Luftwaffe's ability to respond, the Mustang accelerated the collapse of the Third Reich. Many historians agree that without it, the air war would have dragged on far longer, at an even greater human cost. After the war, the P-51 continued to fly, even as the world transitioned into the jet age. It served in later conflicts, dominated air races, and became a timeless symbol of speed and beauty. Even today, when a Mustang roars across the sky at an air show, the sound of its Merlin engine commands silence and respect. This isn't just nostalgia, it's recognition. The P-51 Mustang was not just an escort fighter. It was the solution to a problem that once seemed unsolvable. It proved that technology, when guided by clear strategy, can change the course of history. More than just metal, wings, and an engine, the Mustang was made of time, the time it saved, the lives it protected, and the war it helped end sooner. And that is why, decades later, its legacy still echoes. Because in a sky consumed by war, the P-51 Mustang taught the world that to control the air was to control destiny. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this look into aviation history, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories like this one. See you next time.